Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today is a very sad day, as this is the final PNSO minifigure review, or at least until they release some more. But as far as this box set of 48 figures go, we've come a long way from the start, and we are officially at the end. This is the last three of these 48 figures, and we chose to do 3 little baby figures to look at, because even if we're going to be depressed about this box set ending, it's going to be pretty hard to be depressed when you're looking at something as cute as these minifigures. So we've got Aaron the Tyrannosaurus, and the Mamenchisaurus fell over. Emmy the drunken Mamenchisaurus, which it's not good to be a baby and be drunk, and you've got Elina the Triceratops. Again, you can get a good idea there looking at what the habitat looks like, and I mentioned this before, a long time ago actually, but if you do buy any of these minis and you don't really have any interest in seeing the booklet, posing these and displaying them with the actual booklet and everything staying inside these cases honestly isn't a bad idea, because they really look cool. The entire presentation of this set, having the habitat behind the dinosaurs, just makes the entire appearance look so cool, and I could definitely understand and see why somebody would display them still in the packaging. It definitely is not a bad idea. I, however, will be taking them out because I want to take a closer look at them, so let's get them opened right now. So we've pulled the babies from their daycare, and we got them out for us to take a look at. Of course, over here we've got Aaron the Tyrannosaurus, so let's take a look at his little booklet here. You can see a beautiful shot there of a dried up little sandy kind of an area, or a muddy kind of an area, with some nice forestation behind, and an absolutely beautiful image of a Tyrannosaurus inside a really nicely feathered Tyrannosaurus, which is very, very cool looking. Then you've got Emmy the Mamenchisaurus, which has an absolutely fantastic looking habitat image there. I'm super excited to see what this image of the Mamenchisaurus looks like. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love this image. That is super cool. I really like that actual paint scheme on the Mamenchisaurus as well. Maybe something that I may copy at some point for a future figure when I do repaint one. And you got Elina the Triceratops with his very cool forested image of the background where it would live. And look at that adorable little image of the Triceratops as a baby. That's actually pretty cool that they have the baby version here, because the other two were adult versions, and now we've got an adorable looking, very almost sad little baby Triceratops. I want to go get him and pet him now. Well, I guess I should actually be saying her, because Elina is a girl's name, so I want to go get her and pet her. But regardless, let's go ahead and get a closer look at these babies. Starting with our little T-Rex baby, you can see that he's got a nice little white ring around his eye to really help elaborate the black eye, and I think it does a great job and definitely serves the purpose that it's intended for. You can really take note of the eye, and I think it looks very nice. The eye is painted beautifully. There's no sloppiness whatsoever. The entire head snout area, everything looks really, really nicely sculpted. You can see the nostrils there. The mouth is nicely sculpted out. The palate area is present. Everything looks really, really good. And he honestly looks super cute. Very adorable little baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. And you can see up here on the top of the head that some feathering starts to appear right between the eyes, basically, up here on the top of the head. And it runs down the entire length of the body until about mid-back area. And then it kind of tapers off a little bit. But I do like seeing that feathering included on this figure, and it's really nicely painted. It's very beautifully airbrushed down the entire back with all sorts of different tones of coloration. Once again, they've done a good job as far as applying different tones of paint to this little baby minifigure. It looks very nice and very real because of it. So you start to come down the neck, and you can see that the detail and sculpt looks really, really good. All the way down into the shoulders, you can see the shoulder blade is present. And then you've got the little tiny baby T-Rex arms that just look super adorable. He's got them tucked into his body there, almost bird-like, and I think it looks very good, very realistic. It's got a nice white underbelly, actually, and even a little brown mixed in on the underside, but that area looks good as well. And then coming up into the stomach region, you can take note of the rib cage there a little bit. I think the paint applied has done so well. You can just take note of like a different coloration here, and then a lighter coloration here, and then a darker brown, And same goes for the legs, so there are all sorts of different tones of color throughout the body of this little baby Rex. And then some very nice creases in the skin and stuff right here in the thigh area. You can take note of the hip bone up there. Coming down into the calf, you can see the calf muscle a little bit. There's the kneecap present. And the beautifully sculpted baby Rex foot looks very cute. Very nicely done. Some more skin creases right here behind the thigh. And some nice scaling that runs out the length of the tail. Beautifully sculpted. And the tail is actually, the entire figure itself is very flexible, as all of these minis usually are. Again, very nice creases in the skin here in the neck as it runs down into the shoulder blade area. Nicely elaborated shoulder. I like that they also included this brown, that darker brown right here in the hand and shoulder area to really bring your attention in and draw that out and make you take note of that area. Very nice touch. Again, that beautiful feathering up on the top looks good. You can again take note of the rib cage here, as it's a little bit lighter in coloration, but it is definitely present and sculpted in there. Beautifully sculpted leg here on this side. Some more creases in the skin right here. You can pick up on a few little osteoderms right there as well. Nice calf muscle on the leg here. And then once again, beautifully sculpted little baby Rex foot. And then some more creases in the skin here. You can kind of see the skin reacting to the way the leg is moving here on the back of the tail. And then you run out the length of the tail. Again, the paint applied is really, really nicely done. It's a much more dull coloration, which is exactly what you would expect to find on a baby dinosaur like this, because odds are he's probably going to have to hide a lot from predators, so a more dull coloration is exactly what you would see on a baby dinosaur. And again, it looks very realistic the way the paint has been applied. The sculpt overall looks very baby-like as well, so beautiful job on this tiny baby Rex by PNSO. Now we've got our baby Mamenchisaurus, which is really awesome to have, and I actually have the PNSO Mamenchisaurus, the 1/35th scale one, so this could be a nice little addition if you throw that on the set to have a baby with that figure. Starting up here at the head sculpt, you can see the head sculpt is very nicely done as well. You take note of the nostril there. The eye looks to be painted really well. It's nothing more than a black color, but it does look very good, really beautifully placed. You see the mouth right there, nicely sculpted out as well. Coming down the neck, you can see that scaling picks up and it looks very good. Really beautiful all over. It's kind of like a bluish gray type coloration, but it's got a really nice, very light colored wash, like a white wash underneath, similar to what was done with the Ceratopsians. And again, it brings out the detail in such a beautiful, realistic way that I really love when they include that. You can really take note of the scales the whole way down, and he starts to pick up a few little bumps up here on the top right here in mid-neck. Looks very good. Beautiful little sculpted leg here as he's just kind of stepping along, probably searching for some vegetation very low on the ground to eat. See a little bit of hanging skin, some loose skin in the stomach, a few wrinkles of skin right here in front of his leg, as this leg here, the rear left leg, is stepping up and pushing into the stomach a little bit, so you can basically see the skin reacting to the way the body is moving. The beautiful scaling runs the entire length of the dinosaur into the hip. You can take note of the hip bone a little bit there. You can also see the musculature as far as muscle tone goes here in this back leg. Nicely present kneecap there, and the beautifully sculpted foot. And then you come up here into the tail, some more nice creases of skin here in the tail, again showing how the body is reacting to the movement of the dinosaur, and his adorable cute little short tail here at the end. And then looking at this side, same goes as far as the skin detail and that beautiful wash that is applied. You can take note of the shoulder blade here being elaborated and the very nicely sculpted leg. And then here we go with the hanging skin a little bit here in the stomach. Some skin creases behind the leg right there. Nicely elaborated hip bone. Beautiful muscle tone here in this rear leg once again. Nicely sculpted foot. And that little baby Mamenchisaurus tail that once again just looks super cute. So tiny. So overall, this is again another really awesome minifigure as far as PNSO goes. The underbelly has a much lighter coloration, and you can see again a few different tones of a light brown kind of mixed in throughout the dinosaur to really give it that realistic type of a look. And now we get to our baby Triceratops, which I just wanted to go and pet earlier. So let's take a look at it right now. You can see the head sculpt looks fantastic, exactly what you would expect to see on a baby, as the frill, and the horns and everything are much smaller than you would see on an adult, so it looks very good the way that's been done and the way it's been sculpted. The beak overall looks very good also. You can see the nostrils are present. Some nice, very minute sculpt work and detail put into the entire head sculpt, and the overall detailing looks very good. Nicely painted eye, again just a black coloration. Appears to have a little bit of a gloss, giving it a very realistic look. Same goes for this side. I like the addition right here. Right here you can kind of take note of the mouth, just the edge of the mouth on the lower part, just kind of giving him a little bit of a grumpy look. So he's kind of like a grumpy baby Triceratops. I really definitely dig that area and that little addition in the sculpt. Even the very minute details in the horns look really, really good also. You can really pick up on some cracks and crevices and stuff throughout the horns, which look very good. And there's so many different variations of color. Once again, just in the head sculpt, you can see all sorts of variation of color and different tones of color throughout the head sculpt. It looks fantastic. Coming down into the neck area, you can pick up on those beautiful little scales and some osteoderms starting to pick up here in the body. They also look good. You can see a few creases in the skin right here behind this front leg, showing you again the motion of the dinosaur pulling the skin a little bit, and you can see the way the skin is reacting to the movement of the leg. Beautiful attention to detail. Very nice crease here in the leg as it's bending its leg up and taking a step. Very nicely sculpted foot. I really like the scaling all over this figure actually. I think it looks really, really good. And again, those osteoderms run back here into the hip area a little ways. You can see the hip here is nicely present. A little bit of musculature in this rear thigh, and then coming down into the calf. He's just kind of a chubby little baby, honestly. He's got a chubby appearance to him. Nicely sculpted foot there as well. And then you've got a beautiful Triceratops tail with those very nicely sculpted scales that run the entire length. He's just kind of trotting along. At the same time, he's got a little bit of a grumpy look. He looks very happy with his little trot that he's got going on. Maybe he's just mad at his mom, who knows. Wait, I mean, maybe she's just mad at her mom. God, I gotta stop doing that. And then looking at this side, pretty much the detail is very similar to the opposing side. You can see some nice scale work that runs out into the shoulder and then runs down into the leg. Again, beautiful skin tones throughout the entire body. You've got some yellows and some greens and kind of some hints of browns and stuff. Some whiter, lighter coloration here in the stomach region. So it's really, really beautifully done as far as the paint. You can see the skin being pulled right here in the stomach from this leg here, reaching back as this rear leg is really taking a far step back and definitely pulling the skin. Again, the way the body is reacting to the movement of the animal is really, really beautifully portrayed here in this figure. Everything looks exactly as it should be as far as the way the skin is reacting to the movement, so great attention to detail as always on the part of PNSO. And you can again take note of some creases in the skin right here behind the leg, again reacting to the movement of the body, and that beautiful little Triceratops tail that runs the entire length with those really nice scales to the tip of the tail. And then the underbelly also looks very good. Once again, many different tones of coloration and everything included. So overall, a beautiful baby Triceratops. So as far as the size goes on these little baby mini figures from PNSO, for the Rex from the tail to the head, you're looking at about 3 inches or about 7.5 centimeters in length. And for a height, about 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters. He's nice and small, but this little Mamenchisaurus is just absolutely tiny. He's a little bit over 2 3/4 inches or about 7 centimeters in length, and for a height there's really not much at all. He's actually a little bit under an inch or a little over 2 centimeters, so very, very small for that little Mamenchisaurus. And for the Triceratops, from the tail to the head, you're looking at about a little over 2 3/4 inches or a little bit, almost 7.5 centimeters. And for a height, you're looking at about 1.5 inches to the tip of the horn or about 3.5 centimeters, maybe a little bit closer to 4. For a size comparison, there is our green Rex friend, and right away, the little baby Rex is taking to him, as that is definitely a relative of him, or at least you would think. But then again, our green Rex friend here doesn't have feathers, but that little Rex does. So maybe they're not too closely related. Actually, I believe this baby down here would probably be the son, maybe, of Wilson, the Tyrannosaurus Rex from PNSO. But you can see either way that these little herbivores are getting out of Dodge because our Rex friend here is definitely hungry. You can see that very hungry look on his face. But again, this should show you the tiny, tiny size of these minis. These ones are super small. Being babies, it makes sense, but again, this shows you just how insanely small they are, but with just how much detail and absolutely beautiful paint. As always, impressive work from PNSO. So without question, 3 more fantastic minifigures, and that completes the entire box set of all 48 minis, showing you that they are all awesome minifigures. There was not one single figure in this entire set of 48 figures that I would even consider close to bad. All were absolutely beautiful, and these 3 are no exception. You've got the mini Tyrannosaurus Rex. He just looks super adorable. I think the paint applied and sculpt and everything is just fantastic, and he would be a great little addition to throw next to Wilson the Tyrannosaurus Rex from PNSO if you want to include a baby. Then you've got Emmy the Mamenchisaurus, who again looks absolutely awesome. I love that wash that's included, really bringing out the detail. Everything on that little baby Mamenchisaurus just looks super adorably cute, and exactly what I would expect to see on a baby Mamenchisaurus. Again, would also look awesome next to the Mamenchisaurus from PNSO that they have in 1/35th scale. So if you do own that figure, another very nice addition potentially to that set and that diorama. And then you've got Elina the Triceratops baby, who also looks awesome. Really beautifully painted, really beautifully sculpted, so many different tones of coloration throughout the body of that figure, really making it look very real and alive. And once again, that would also be a great choice to throw in with Doyle, the 1/35th scale Triceratops from PNSO. So all of these little baby minis here have a larger counterpart made by PNSO that would look awesome to include these into dioramas with those figures. So definitely an awesome choice if you do buy these and add them to that collection or those dioramas, but at the same time an awesome choice to buy even if you don't own those other figures and you just want some adorable minifigures or some adorable baby figures. These are all great choices. Absolutely fantastic figures, and all of the figures that I reviewed from, again, this box set of 48 figures were all beautiful, so I highly recommend any and all of these mini figures from PNSO. Hopefully they'll release more in the near future and we'll get to review those as well. But for right now, that's all we got as far as these minifigures go. So this was an awesome box set. I highly recommend all of them. I will throw links in the description to these 3 and the actual 48 figure box set from PNSO on the Amazon PNSO store. So check the description, go buy yourself some awesome PNSO minis, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.